What's up, guys? Coming to you today with a full slate of NBA and college basketball action here on Tuesday, January 20th. I'll give you my favorite picks on the side and over-under on each game. We're going to break down the biggest college basketball games of the night and a bunch of NBA player props. I'll give you my favorite underdog pick of the day and my massive lock. So as a huge thank you to me, take that 10th of a second and slam that like button. It really helps get these videos promoted out there on YouTube. It's a big part of keeping me motivated to pump out these videos every single solitary day. Also, take a quick second and check down below, see if you are subscribed to the channel. That will keep you from missing these videos that I'm uploading every single day. Also lets me see the channel is growing, lets me see that these videos are getting promoted out there to new viewers, which is a big part of having a healthy channel out here on YouTube. So huge shout out to all the new channel members, huge shout out to everybody that does take that second to hit that like button. Really appreciate all of you, and make sure, and this goes for everybody, guys, get down there in the comments and let me know anything you want to say about my videos, about anything across the sports world out there, about these picks, about any picks that you're looking at, and I'm more than happy to get back to you. I read and often respond to every single solitary comment that I get, and I'm more than happy to help answer those questions. If you ask me something that I don't know, I can potentially reach out to the premium handicappers over there at stumpthespread.com and ask their opinion. So it's definitely a good thing to do, guys. Get down there in the comments, and it really helps me stay in touch with you guys, which I really like to do. Also, make sure you're checking the pinned comment every single day. That's the top comment below the video. That's going to have my favorite picks from every single solitary YouTube video in that pinned comment. That's where you'll find the ones that I think you should be looking at really hard and potentially playing every single solitary day. So definitely check out those. It's shaping up to be a pretty decent day in the pinned comment here on Monday. We've got the Hurricanes still live, plus 7.5. Right now we are getting towards we're in the fourth quarter now. It's a 14-7 game, so currently those 7.5 points are looking good. We did have the Knicks at minus 10.5, and Brunson came back like we thought he would, but they just as a team did not play well. They got absolutely worked by a surprisingly healthy Mavs squad, so that was a bit annoying, but we cashed the 76ers minus 7.5. It was a little bit closer than I would have liked, but Embiid dropping a 30-piece helped us get the win and cover as the 76ers come out on top there, 113-104. The Pistons and Celtics are playing right now. They're in the fourth quarter with about 4.5 minutes left, and Detroit's up by 3, so we'll see if they can hold on down the stretch in that one. We already have cashed both our dog of the day and our massive lock of the day. We had the Jazz plus 16.5 as our dog of the day, and taking these massive numbers in the NBA this season continues to be extremely profitable. Utah kept it within reach thanks to 30 points from Keontae George, and they end up getting us the cover in that 123-110 loss. We also cashed the Suns there on the money line as our massive lock of the day. Another nice win there for the lock of the day as the Suns take care of business, getting the 126-117 win over the Nets. Dylan Brooks had a nice bounce back shooting day, and the Suns defense continues to look very good. So guaranteed at least a 3-3 day. Hopefully, if we don't get extremely unlucky, we could be looking at 4-2 or a possible 5-1 day. So that's all good news. Looking like a very solid day over there on the premium side. Once again, college basketball with a little bit of a bounce back, going 2-1. Things are looking pretty good so far in the NHL streets. Still a lot cooking. Both plays undecided so far in the NBA, but a lot of good stuff cooking over there on the premium side, especially with NHL continue to look very good. So let's go ahead and dive in. Let's look at what we've got cooking out there today. A very busy Tuesday across the sporting world. First up, we're going to look at our NBA slate, and we've got some interesting ones here. First up, we've got the Phoenix Suns heading to Philadelphia to take on the 76ers. Now, guys, both these teams came through for us there yesterday, so slam that thumbs up button if you haven't already, because we did cash on both of these teams yesterday. We'll see what they can do here playing on no rest. The Suns obviously coming off of that nice win in Brooklyn, so not a long trip from them. Obviously going from Brooklyn to Philly, a 126-117 win there for them over the Nets. We liked what we saw pretty much across the board there from the Suns. I mean, very good stuff there from Colin Gillespie. He had 22. Devin Booker had 24. Dylan Brooks had 27. 14 off the bench from Grayson Allen. They shoot 50%, 51% from 3. They do a good enough job on the boards, or actually kind of dominate the boards there against the Nets. And really, that's exactly how you want to be winning games if you are the Phoenix Suns. So we'll see what they can do here playing on back-to-back nights. We don't have an updated injury report. Jalen Green, he's getting pretty close. Did not play there in Brooklyn. It sounds like he will play against the 76ers, so getting a very dynamic scoring option back out there. He only appeared in 2 games this season. Really messed up his hamstring there. I think maybe it was a hamstring tear if I remember correctly, so that's why he's missed so much time, but he's going to be back out there. That could give this team a nice boost. Other than that, I do pretty much expect them to be healthy, but it is a back-to-back game, so we'll have to wait and see. The 76ers, they come into this game fresh off that 113-104 win over the Pacers. They were at home, so they won't have to travel for this back-to-back. They'll just be waiting. Embiid played really well, put up a 30-piece, very, very efficient shooting from him. 10 of 17, 9 of 10 from the free throw line. Kelly Oubre actually had a very good night there in the starting lineup, although I do think he is going to get bumped from that starting lineup in this game. We'll be talking about that when we talk about player props here in a minute. Maxey, a nice bounce-back game from him. Edgecombe didn't do that much, really, but he continues to be very productive. So we're liking what we're seeing from the 76ers. Their injury report is also not fully updated, but there are some things that I think you can pretty solidly expect. Now, I do expect Paul George to come back and play in this game on the second half of a back-to-back. Do I expect Embiid to play in the second half of a back-to-back after already, putting in, what did he put in, 33 minutes there against the Pacers? That one sounds a bit sketchy to me. I think there's a very good chance we see Embiid actually not play in this game, but we'll have to wait and see. That remains very up in the air. So looking at the numbers, guys, the 76ers are -1.5. We've got a total of 224.5. Phoenix, they are 15-8 against spread on the road, 3-3 against spread on no rest, 25-17 to the under. The 76ers are 9-12 against spread at home, 7-0 against the spread this season playing on no rest. They're 21-19 to the over. In terms of a side in this game, guys, I'm going to lean slightly towards the Suns because I'm guessing here that Embiid won't be playing. But this is a very slight lean. This can't go in the pinned comment until we find out for sure whether or not Embiid is going to be playing in this game. If he is, we'll definitely be taking the 76ers. They're 7-0 against the spread on no rest, and I don't really feel like the Suns have a lot of great options for guarding Joel Embiid if they're fully healthy. So this is a wait and see spot for sure. Got to find out who's actually going to be out there for both these teams. But we do have some player props that I think are very, very reasonable. And these are guys that I think we can be pretty certain about. I will take Devin Booker over 22.5 points here at -130. He's been over this number 7 of his last 10 games. I fully expect him to have a good time on the perimeter against a team like Philadelphia, with Maxey and Edgecombe not necessarily looking like the greatest ball stoppers there on defense. I also like Kelly Oubre Jr. under 12.5 points here at -114. He has been under this number in 4 out of his last 5 games, and now coming off the bench, and with Paul George very much, going to be in the starting lineup, that's what we're projecting right now. It feels like he's probably not going to get the amount of shots that he needs to be a reliably big scorer. Also, if Embiid plays, that also cuts down on his shot opportunities. So those are both my player prop leans for the first game of the day. Now, guys, rolling right along, we've got the Los Angeles Clippers heading to Chicago to take on the Bulls. The Clippers, they come into this game 19-23 on the season. They're fresh off a very close win there over the Wizards. No Kawhi in that game. Harden does go off for 36 points, so he played really, really well. Hats off to them. They're finding a way to make it happen here, even without Kawhi, but that was a very, very close game. And now playing on no rest puts even more strain on this lineup in general. Zubac played well, 14 points, 12 boards. Harden was the vast majority of the offense, though, for this team, and that is a big problem. Against any good team, they're going to be able to limit that or maybe even take that away. They need Kawhi, and they need Kawhi playing at an extremely high level for this team to really have much of a chance. Now, the injury report is not fully updated for this team. Obviously, Kawhi's status is always going to be a little bit up in the air, but sounds like he is officially not going to play during the final 2 games of this road trip, so that would include this game against Chicago. So it appears that he will not be out there for this game. So no Kawhi in this one. That's a big, big deal. Other than that, we don't know. There could be injury news on Harden potentially. He could sit out the second half of a back-to-back, or really anybody on the Clippers could potentially sit out the second half of a back-to-back. So we'll see what the Bulls can do in this one. They are playing at home. They've won 2 out of their last 3, but beating the Jazz and the Nets is not exactly the same as beating the Clippers. Although if it's the extremely limited version of the Clippers, maybe it's not that crazy. Brooklyn, I mean, they're not the toughest opponent, obviously, although the Bulls did only go 1-1 in that little 2-game series. But Chicago played really well in Game 2. Kobe White was out there. He played well. Vooch played okay. Buzelis bounced back, had a very nice game. We liked what we saw off the bench from Herter, Trey Jones, and Asumu. All played well, and Chicago shot 43% from 3. You're going to win an awful lot of games when you shoot the ball that well from distance. So it does make a bit of sense to me that they'd be 1.5-point favorites in this game. They are pretty much fully healthy. The only guy that they're going to be missing is Josh Giddey, and that's a big deal, but he is questionable for this game. He's getting close to making his comeback there from that hamstring issue. I would say don't hurry him back. A hamstring is something you can very, 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 very easily re-injure. So we'll see what this looks like. The Bulls are 1.5-point favorites. We've got a total of 226.5. The Clippers are 11-10 against spread on the road, 3-3 against spread on no rest, 21-20 to the under. The Bulls are 12-10 against spread at home, 10-9 against spread after a win, 23-19 to the under. I'm not super interested in the total in this game. Maybe a tiny lean towards under, but I will be leaning pretty aggressively towards the Chicago Bulls, and I would jump on this -1.5 because this number is going to get worse if we see both Harden and Kawhi sitting this game out. Kawhi's already confirmed out. Harden, how much can he have left in the tank after what he did, there on Monday? So yeah, I definitely think this is a very reasonable spot to be back in the Chicago Bulls here, playing at home. Now, guys, before we jump in and break down the San Antonio Spurs going on the road to take on the Houston Rockets, we got to shout out the sponsor today in every day's video, and that is StumpTheSpread.com. Click the link in the description to go over there and see the top confidence picks from our entire team of experienced cappers. Right now, our premium members are getting daily NBA, NHL, UFC, NFL, college basketball, and I guess really no longer college football picks because the college football championship was, here on Monday. But it's still a fantastic time to dive in as a premium member over there at StumpTheSpread.com. College basketball is getting back on track. NHL is staying extremely hot here down the stretch, looking very, very good today. We'll see if those last two games can work out. It could be another banner winning day there for the NHL members. It's been a very, very hot run on hockey over there. I don't know how he's doing it personally. I know nothing about NHL. I've actually been begging our premium handicapper to hop on here and start making some hockey videos, but he has not been super interested in that. But maybe we'll keep after it. Maybe we'll be able to talk him into it down the stretch. But it's a great time to get in the mix as a premium member at StumpTheSpread.com. And keep in mind, those premium picks are not going to match usually what you see from me here in the videos, as I'm not the premium NFL, NHL, college football, UFC handicapper over there at StumpTheSpread.com. We have a team of experts with over a decade's worth of experience covering all the major sports. And guys, they're putting in a ton of work on a daily basis to bring you the best picks they possibly can. Taking a crazy amount of data points, doing a crazy amount of research, all gets poured into those picks and distilled down to what you see in those big write-ups that go in the premium section. So definitely get over there to StumpTheSpread.com and check out the premium. Those premium picks can pay for themselves pretty quickly. If you have a nice winning day there right out of the gates, you could be free rolling that entire membership after maybe 1.5 good days, depending on what your unit size is. So definitely consider checking out a premium membership over there at StumpTheSpread.com, but you definitely got to check out all the free stuff. There are free picks every single day under the free picks tab. Cashed our free pick there under the free picks tab yesterday. It was Providence plus 1.5. They do end up losing that game by 1 point in overtime, so the hook does come into play and helps get us the win and cover. So we'll definitely take that win on the free pick. There's always picks coming out every single day in that free email newsletter too. The free pick tab and the free email newsletter is a great way to sample what it's like to be a premium member over there at StumpTheSpread.com, because both of those resources come from our premium handicappers. Tons of work goes in on that email every single day. There are free picks in there, parlays in there, player props in there for NFL usually, but any sport could be included. Touchdown props every single week for the NFL. That's just going to be getting more interesting with the games being more and more important here down the stretch. Also, guys, big write-ups on the niche sports. There's a big golf write-up. Almost cashed a 350-1 golf play, although the guy did end up coming up a little bit short there on Sunday. But anybody that cashed out on that play early, I'm sure got a nice little win under their belts for that one. But big golf write-ups. There's a big plus, a guy to finish in the top 20 that hit. It's just a great resource for all kinds of niche sports betting and just, regular old against the spread or straight up sports bets like you would see on a daily basis. So definitely get on that free email newsletter, guys. It's a great resource. It's absolutely free. It's really easy to sign up. You just set up a free account at StumpTheSpread.com. All they're going to ask for is your name and your email address, and you'll be on that email list and you'll be good to go. You can also get over to StumpTheSpread.com and pick up a Stump the Spread hoodie, where you're selling them at cost right now with free shipping. So definitely a great time to pick up one of those. And guys, if you're a huge fan of what you're seeing from me here every single day, click that little join button right below the video to become a YouTube channel member. YouTube channel members get early access to all of our videos. They get early access can be pretty big sometimes, especially with some of the NFL videos. They also get their name on screen in every single video, but maybe most importantly, they get access to our members only giveaways. We give away a Stump the Spread hoodie here every single solitary Monday to one random YouTube channel member. We just put the big wheel with every single YouTube channel member's name up on the screen. We spin that wheel live on the video. Whoever it lands on, and that's every single Monday in the Monday video, gets a free Stump the Spread hoodie mailed straight to their address of choice. So definitely get in on that if you guys are interested. Big shout out to all the YouTube channel members. Now let's go ahead and dive back in. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel, and make sure you've gotten over to StumpTheSpread.com and checked out everything we offer over there, especially the free stuff, guys. It's free. You should be taking advantage of that. Now let's get back after we go on the biggest games of the day. Here next, we've got the San Antonio Spurs heading to Houston to take on the Rockets. The Spurs come into this game playing really well. They're 30-13 on the season, winners of 3 in a row. They didn't blow out the Jazz there yesterday. They will be playing on no rest, but Wemby putting up 33 points. Very solid work work from him. Back in the starting lineup and staying healthy, 33 points in 26 minutes is very impressive. And since he only played so few minutes, it does make me think that they will probably let him play here on the second half of back-to-back. We liked what we saw from Champagny. He had a little bit of a bounce-back day. Harrison Barnes actually scored 10 points. Castle had 18. De'Aaron Fox shot the ball relatively well. So a lot of good news there for the San Antonio Spurs. They were playing at home and against a pretty weak opponent. Now, they don't have a tough travel spot here, only having to go from San Antonio to Houston, so that's not too bad. They come to this game looking very healthy, although this is not a fully updated injury report, so we'll have to wait and see on that a little bit, but sounds like they should be pretty much good to go for this one, with obviously the exception there of Devin Vassell. The Rockets, they come into this game winners of 3 out of their last 4, beating the Pelicans, Timberwolves, and Bulls, but losing to the Thunder. They did only beat the Pelicans by 9, so not a completely dominant game, but we did love what we saw from Jabari Smith Jr. out there. He was cooking. He had 32 points, 11 of 21 from the field, and 7 of 13 from 3. That offseason work is really paying off. KD only had 18, but 21 from Sengun and 20 from Amen Thompson. Very good work there. Reed Shepherd had 11 off the bench, but this team still seems like it really needs to find some sort of point guard option. So we'll see what happens with them down the stretch. The injury report here for the Rockets, who will not be playing this game on no rest, looks like we've been seeing, pretty much consistently here. Tari Eason sounds like he will not be. Well, I guess he's technically questionable, but I'd be a little bit surprised to see him out there. Steven Adams now on the injury report dealing with that ankle issue, will not play in this one. So looking at the numbers, guys, the Rockets, they're 3.5-point favorites here at home. We've got a total of 224.5. The Spurs are 10-1 against the spread on the road, 5-2 against the spread this season on no rest, 25-18 to the under. The Rockets are 7-10 against the spread at home, 11-13 against the spread after a win, 20-19-1 to the under. I would maybe lean just a slight bit towards under in this game, I guess, but no real lean on the total. Much better than that. Give me the San Antonio Spurs here getting 3.5 points. All the starters played very limited minutes in that game. I do not think they're going to be exhausted or something and not able to, play up to their full potential in this one. Definitely think the Spurs getting 3.5 points is a great spot here. The Rockets don't have a point guard. The Spurs have a lot of guys that can pressure the ball. I think that's going to spell a lot of issues here for Houston. Rolling right along here, guys, we're looking at the Minnesota Timberwolves going on the road to take on the Utah Jazz. The Timberwolves are 27-16 on the season. They have dropped 2 in a row, but when you're losing on the road against the Rockets and Spurs, I'm willing to cut you a little bit of slack. Ant was incredible in that loss there in San Antonio. He put up 55 points, but when that comes in a loss, that has to be kind of an eye-opener. Julius Randle was terrible in that game, I will say that. DiVincenzo did also not shoot the ball very well. McDaniels played well. The bench did not look very good, though. Naz Reid was in the starting lineup, yeah. He only played 5 minutes. Oh, yeah, he got hurt in that game. So, yeah, we'll be talking about that when we look at the injury report here in a second, but the Timberwolves have to be a little bit frustrated losing that one, and this is not a team that's really set up to be able to sustain a lot of injuries. With no Naz Reid, that bench gets really thin really fast. The whole starting lineup is healthy and ready to go, but Naz Reid dealing with that shoulder issue is officially questionable in this game, and whether or not he ends up playing, I kind of doubt whether he's going to be, close enough to full strength that it's, okay that he's out there and that the bench will still be able to produce something. We could be looking at a really weak bench night here from the Timberwolves as they go on the road to take on the Utah Jazz, who did just play in San Antonio, now to fly to Utah. Not a crazy flight, but not nothing. Definitely have to keep our eye on what the fatigue level is looking like for these guys. Now, we did like we saw from Keontae George, albeit in a loss, 30 points from him. Nurkic had 20 and 9. Very good work there. Filipowski, 13 off the bench. Collier, 10 off the bench. They played well enough to make this a real game, and we appreciate it because it ended up getting us the nice little cover there as big underdogs. So we'll definitely take that. The maybe biggest question here for the Jazz is when is Lauri Markkanen going to make his way back from illness? Right now, he didn't play in that game against the Spurs. We don't have an update on whether or not he'll be able to play here against the Timberwolves. They will be at home, so I think that would help the potential of him playing in this game at least somewhat. So we're going to have to keep a really close eye on that because that makes a huge difference in this matchup. Now, the Jazz, they're getting 10.5 points here at home. We've got a total of 244.5. Minnesota's 10-12 against spread on the road, 9-6 against spread after a loss, 22-21 to the under. The Jazz are 14-7 against spread at home, 5-4 against spread on no rest, 27-15 to the over. That's an NBA best to the over. With a total of 244.5 here, guys, I'm not going to play the over. That's just too many points. That's too insane to me. But I am leaning a bit towards the Jazz getting these 10.5 points. But like I said, we have to know whether Markkanen's playing in this game or not. If he's not, maybe we see this number get a little bit bigger. And then we could think about taking the Jazz at something like plus 12.5. But right now, with the Timberwolves having no bench, it's very difficult to even wrap my head around betting on them. In our last nationally televised game of this NBA slate, we're looking at the Los Angeles Lakers heading to Denver to take on the Nuggets. The Lakers are 25-16 on the season. They're coming off a pretty nice 110-93 win, albeit over a shorthanded Raptors team, but we saw one of the most shocking leading scorers in recent memory. Ayton ends up leading the Lakers in scoring, putting up 25 points on a perfect 10 of 10 from the field. LeBron was very good, 24 points in his 32 minutes. Doncic was out there, 34 minutes, 25 points, not a very efficient shooting night from him. The bench continues to look very, very mediocre. They really need Austin Reeves back, despite what some super agents may be saying on their dumb little podcasts. He is a big part of what gives the Lakers a chance to be successful. So we'll see. We'll see what goes on in this one. The Lakers obviously playing well against a shorthanded Raptors team. Might be a little bit tougher to go on the road here and take on the Nuggets. Obviously, we've got the big news that LeBron not going to be an All-Star game starter, at least as of right now. So we'll see what happens with that. The injury report for the Lakers looks very, very clean. They should be healthy and ready to go, and I think we will see an extra motivated LeBron. Whether that's a good or a bad thing does kind of remain to be seen in this one. They're going to be going on the road to Denver to take on the Nuggets. Denver coming off that 110-87 loss to the Hornets. I mean, we were on Charlotte in that one, so we loved it. Jamal Murray was clearly very, very exhausted in that game. 25 minutes, 16 points, not a great look. Although he was very efficient shooting the ball, I got to give him credit for that. Julian Strawther played well off the bench, but really this was just a schedule loss there for the Nuggets. They were exhausted for this game. They came out a little bit flat, and there just wasn't anything they could do against a young and rested team like the Charlotte Hornets. So we'll see if Denver's got to bounce back in them in this one. Obviously, they're still going to be not the team that you would have expected the Denver Nuggets to be at this point in the season. Jokic still out. Jamal Murray, Christian Brown, Aaron Gordon, Tim Hardaway Jr., all on the injury report. Jamal Murray, he's probable due to an illness and left knee inflammation. Sounds like he will be out there. Brown not going to be playing in this game. Aaron Gordon doing the hamstring, he's probable. And Tim Hardaway Jr. is also probable in this one. So they're going to be basically the team we're used to seeing here recently, which has been surprisingly very, very solid. They're getting 1.5 points here at home, so they're slight underdogs. We've got a total of 227.5. Dallas. The Lakers are 11-10 against the spread on the road, 11-13 against spread after win, 25-16 to the over. Denver's 10-9 against spread at home, 9-4 against spread after a loss, 27-16 to the over themselves. Right out of the gates, guys, I really like over 227.5 in this game. It's probably my favorite play in this one, if we're being completely honest. I just think we're going to see plenty of offense out there, and from both teams, really. I do expect a very motivated LeBron in this one after, the All-Star game snub. Maybe he doesn't care about that kind of stuff anymore, but I would think he probably still does. So I will take just maybe the tiniest lean towards some overs on LeBron or something like that. But in terms of a side, I'll take the Nuggets here getting the points. I do not think this Lakers team is a very complete squad. But like I said, the over is my favorite play for sure. I also have a player prop that I like in this one. Give me Peyton Watson over 21.5 points plus assists in this game at -105. He's been over this number 8 of his last 10 games, and now with all the injuries Denver has going on, he's gotten the chance to really thrive and show what he can do. I think we see a very nice night from him here, even if, Murray and Aaron Gordon end up, playing and being in the starting lineup and all that kind of stuff. Heading into our last 2 NBA games before we jump over and break down a bunch of college basketball, we've got the Toronto Raptors heading to Golden State to take on the Warriors. The Raptors have been dealing with some injuries and been having a bit of a rough time here down the stretch. They've lost 3 out of their last 4. They're down to 25-19 on the season. In that 110-93 loss there to the Lakers, Scotty Barnes put up 22. Not the most efficient shooting night. Brandon Ingram played pretty well, but also struggled with his shot to some extent. Quickly played 29 minutes, had 9 points and 7 assists, so not a terrible day, but definitely not putting up crazy numbers. They shot 22% from 3. They lost the rebounding battle to the Lakers by 5. This squad just has to find a way to get and stay healthy. And when they're healthy, they're very, very good. But RJ Barrett missing all this time, Jakob Poeltl missing all this time doesn't help. We also see Jacoby Walker and Colin Murray-Boyles on the injury report as well. And RJ Barrett dealing with that ankle issue, he's officially ruled out. Jakob Poeltl has been ruled out as well with that ongoing back problem. Jacoby Walter dealing with a hip, he will not be playing. And Colin Murray-Boyles has also been ruled out. So going to be far from full strength here as they go on the road to take on the Warriors. Now, the Warriors are currently in the second quarter playing a very, very close game right now against the Miami Heat. So Golden State, a fairly old team, is going to be playing on back-to-back nights. Not something you would expect to be their forte. They are playing relatively well so far against Miami and have been playing well here recently, but it's not like they've been blowing out a lot of monsters. I mean, beating the Hornets, Knicks, and Trailblazers, the Kings, and the Bucks, I'm not ready to throw you a parade for any of that. So we'll see what they can do in this one. Obviously, no updated injury report here. I would expect to see Melton back for this game. I would expect to see Draymond Green probably back for this game. Gui Santos, probably not. So maybe a little bit closer to full strength Warriors, but this will be very old Steph playing on back-to-back nights if they let him play on back-to-back nights. So we'll see what it looks like. Right now, the Warriors are listed as 6.5-point favorites. We've got a total of 228.5. Toronto's 11-10 against spread on the road, 7-11 against spread after a loss, 27-17 to the under. The Warriors are 13-9 against spread at home, 4-4 against spread on no rest, 25-18 to the over. No real lean on the total in this one, guys, but I will lean just slightly towards the Warriors here at -6.5. Obviously, we still have a lot to see in this one, but the way the Raptors have been playing recently, I don't love it. And just the matchup for them, I mean, maybe their length and physicality can be a little bit of a problem for the Warriors, but the scoring is really going to be on Golden State's side, assuming that Steph is going to be playing here on the second half of a back-to-back and that DeAnthony Melton is going to be healthy and ready to go, along with Draymond. Next on the docket, we've got the Miami Heat heading to Sacramento to take on the Kings. The Heat, like I was just saying, guys, are playing a very close game here against the Warriors right now, so we don't have an updated injury report. They have been playing relatively well lately, beating the Suns, losing to the Celtics, beating the Thunder, and now, playing the Warriors. We'll see how that one shakes out. They haven't been incredibly healthy, although they ended up pretty healthy for their game against Golden State with only Tyler Hero sitting out, which hasn't necessarily been a bad thing for them this season. So we'll see what they can put together here on the road against the Kings, who come into this game fresh off a 117-110 loss. They're the Trailblazers. Sacramento had been playing pretty well. They had won 4 in a row. Sabonis coming back, I think, is positive for them overall. We'll see what it shakes out to be in the long run, but he wasn't in the starting lineup there. He played 20 minutes off the bench, had 8 points and 8 boards and 2 assists against the Trailblazers. So we'll see what he can do. Westbrook had 23, DeMar DeRozan had 14, LaVine had 18, 23 from Malik Monk, who somebody needs to go out there and get because it sounds like he's very much available, and I think he's a great scoring piece off the bench for pretty much any team. Looking at the numbers here, guys, I'm a little bit surprised to see the Kings getting only 2.5 points in this spot. We've got a total of 236.5. Miami is 11-9 against spread on the road, 5-3 against spread on no rest, 22-20 to the under. The Kings are 10-13 against spread at home, 11-19 against spread after a loss, 24-19 to the under. You could maybe talk me into under 236.5 in this game. I don't think that's a wild idea, but better than that, I'll just take the Heat to win and cover in this one. I mean, they only got to win by 3. That is not very much. The Kings are getting way too much respect here. I don't think they're that good of a team. I certainly think the Heat are a bit better than the Portland Trailblazers right now, and if they're relatively healthy coming into this game, I think Miami's in a very good spot. Now, guys, hopping over to cover a nice little Tuesday college basketball slate. We're going to get right after. We got a Big Ten showdown here between the Minnesota Golden Gophers and the Ohio State Buckeyes. Minnesota comes into this game 10-8 on the season. They're 3-4 now in Big Ten play. Although, starting off 4-0, they've now lost 3 straight, but losing against USC by 1 point, losing against Wisconsin by 3, and then losing by 10 at number 13 Illinois. Those are not necessarily terrible losses. Now, it doesn't get a lot easier here. They got to go to Ohio State, then they got to play Nebraska, so this is a tough conference. I mean, Cade Tyson's been good this year for the Golden Gophers, 21 points, very solid numbers across the board, 50% from the field, but this team is not dynamic on the glass necessarily. They're 317th in the nation total offense. Their defense, though, is very good. This is a team with a pretty solid home court advantage, but like I said, they're not playing this game at home. So we'll see what they can put together here at Ohio State. The Buckeyes are 12-5 on the season. They're 4-3 in conference play. They're fresh off a nice home win over UCLA, although facing UCLA when they've had to travel all the way from California to Ohio is not maybe like craziest win, but they'll definitely take it. Bruce Thornton, a solid leading scorer, guys, 20 points, 56% from the field, very good numbers from him. This team is also not a dynamic rebounding team per se, but their offensive numbers look very, very good. They're also good on defense. They're playing at home in this one, which definitely helps, but they are 8.5-point favorites, kind of a big number. We've got a total of 144.5 in this game. The Golden Gophers are 8-10 against the spread this season, 2-2 against the spread on the road, 11-7 to the under. Ohio State is 7-10 against the spread this year, 4-6 against the spread at home, 9-8 to the under themselves. With both teams showing trends towards the under, maybe you could talk me into under 144.5, but that would necessitate a pretty low scoring game. In terms of a side, I think I got to take Minnesota here, getting 8.5 points. I think Ohio State will probably win, but ask him to win by basically double digits feels like a lot in this spot. Next on the docket, we got the Indiana Hoosiers going on the road to take the number 3 Michigan Wolverines. Now, Indiana as a university, I would assume their attention, win or lose, is going to be pretty much fixed on the football team. The basketball team, though, has had a decent year, although they are on a 3-game losing streak. When you've lost to Nebraska, at Michigan State, and then to Iowa, it's not like you've been getting killed by teams you should have necessarily been beating. They do have a solid leading scorer in Lamar Wilkerson, 20 points per game, 46% from the field is not bad. They're a top 100 team in the nation in total offense. Their rebounding numbers are not great, but they're a pretty good defensive team, so I do have to give this squad a decent amount of credit here. I mean, they haven't had just a slew of great wins, but they did beat Washington, they beat Penn State in a blowout. Other than that, not a lot of incredible wins, but they've been a solid team. They're about to be severely tested here on the road, though. They're taking on the number 3 Michigan Wolverines, who are 16-1 on the season. After that 3-point loss against Wisconsin, they bounced back with a 10-point win over Washington. That was at Washington, and then they went into Oregon and got a 10-point win there. So surviving that West Coast swing, they are back home now, which has to feel great. They're 5th in the nation in total offense. They're 15th in rebounds per game. Their defensive numbers look very, very good. Lendenborg is a monster, but this is a team full of monsters. So really anybody could beat you on a nightly basis. We all know Michigan's got a ton of great wins under their belt already this season, so honestly it makes sense to see them as big favorites here. They're minus 15.5. We've got a total of 163.5. Indiana, they're 8-10 against the spread, 1-3 against the spread on the road, and they're a 500 over-under team. Michigan is 9-8 against the spread this year, 6-2 against the spread at home, though, and they're 10-7 to the under. No lean on the total in this one for me, guys, but I will definitely take Michigan here, minus 15.5. I think they're by far the better team. They do have their game against Ohio State on the horizon, but I doubt they're very scared of Ohio State this season, so I don't think that's going to be a big concern. Indiana, they play Rutgers next, so it's not a look-ahead spot for them, but they just have not been good on the road this season, so definitely think Michigan here at anything under like 20 points is very much worth a look. Next up, guys, we're headed out to the SEC. We've got the LSU Tigers heading to Florida to take on the Gators. Now, LSU, they're 13-5 on the season. They haven't had very smooth sailing in the SEC so far, but they are coming off a 78-70 win there over Missouri. That was their first conference win, but they've lost some heartbreakers. They lost a 1-point game against Kentucky. They lost by 11 at Vanderbilt. They lost by 10 against South Carolina. That wasn't a great look, but they went to Texas A&M and lost that game by 3. They've been playing a pretty tough schedule. Now they've got to face Florida and then Arkansas with both those games on the road. So definitely got to be locked in here. If they get one win, that would be a big deal out of these 2 games. We're liking what we're seeing from McKinnon so far this season. He's played well. They're 53rd in the nation total offense. They're 88th in total rebounding. Their defense isn't anything to write home about. We'll see what they can do here playing on the road, where they've actually been pretty good against the spread this season, I will say. They're taking on one of the best home teams in the nation. The Florida Gators are 16th in the nation, 13-5 overall. They're coming off a huge win at Vanderbilt to get the 98-94 win over the Commodores there on the road. That was a crazy, crazy game. We're loving what we're seeing from Florida overall. Second in the nation rebounds per game. Very, very good defensive numbers. Their offense is in the top 30 in the nation as well. So lots of good stuff. They've got a bunch of big wins, beating Vanderbilt, Tennessee, and Georgia, all ranked opponents there. They barely lost to Duke, barely lost to UConn earlier this season. This Florida squad is very legit. They are also playing at home in this game. On deck, they have Auburn, so that's not a massive look-ahead spot for them. On deck, obviously, it's a bigger look-ahead spot for LSU, but I don't think they're really going to be looking past the Florida Gators. Now, Florida, 15.5-point favorites, total of 158.5. LSU, they're 11-7 against the spread this year. They're also 3-0 against the spread playing away from home. They're 9-7-2 to the under. Florida, they are 7-11 against the spread themselves. They are 3-5 against the spread at home, 10-8 to the under. You could maybe talk me into under 158.5 in this game, to be honest, but better than that, I will definitely take LSU getting 15.5 points. It's way too many points for them. They're a good enough team to make this game competitive. Will they win? I absolutely think that they will not. But I do think they can keep this to around a 10-point game, and that's all you need in this spot. Florida, I don't think they're going to be that committed to blowing out LSU for any reason. Definitely give me the Tigers here and the points. Rolling right along, guys, we're looking at the number 12 Texas Tech Red Raiders going to Baylor to take on the Bears. Now, Texas Tech, like I said, 12th in the nation. They're 4-1 in Big 12 play so far. They're coming off a huge 84-71 kind of a beatdown win there against BYU, if I'm being honest. They were at home for that game, and they'll have to go on the road for this one, but it was a very, very solid performance. We're loving what we're seeing from this team in general. Christian Anderson is looking like one of the best guards in the nation, maybe the best player on this team, but JT Toppin is right there to give him a run for his money. I mean, 22 points per game, 56% from the field. This is an elite level squad. They're in the top 70 in the nation total offense. Their rebounding numbers are very good. Their defensive numbers are really good. It's kind of tough to find weaknesses for this team. I mean, their last loss was a 69-65 loss at number 7 Houston. Like, this squad is really, really good. Will they be able to survive the letdown spot here as they head to Baylor to take on the Bears? Well, we'll have to wait and see, guys. Baylor is 11-6 on the season. They're 1-4, though, in Big 12 play. So that has not gone smoothly. Their only win in the conference so far is a 94-79 beatdown at Oklahoma State. Their last time out did not go well against Kansas. I mean, they were at Kansas, and that's an extremely tough place to play. But losing 80-62, yeah, that wasn't a great look. I mean, their season-long numbers look elite for sure. 26th in the nation total offense, 44th in total rebounding. But defensively, they're not quite up to the standard of Baylor Bear teams that we've seen in the past. So we'll see what they can do here at home. They are getting a 1.5. We've got a total of 155.5. Texas Tech is 8-10 against the spread this year, 1-2 against the spread on the road, 10-8 to the under. Baylor's 7-9 against the spread this year. They're 4-5 against the spread at home, 9-7 to the over. This is a bit of a tough spot. I feel like the odds makers are kind of trying to tell us to take Baylor here, but I don't know. I'm not super convinced either way. It is a huge letdown spot there for Texas Tech, so I guess we will go with Baylor here at home, but no real lean on this one. I'm very excited to see what these two teams look like in this specific matchup. Next on the docket, guys, one of the biggest college basketball games of the day for sure. We've got number 15 Vanderbilt going on the road to take on number 20 Arkansas. Vanderbilt, they're 16-2 on the season, 3-2 in SEC play. They've now lost back-to-back games. They came up pretty small there at Texas, one I'm sure they wish they could have back. Then they had to take on number 19 Florida, and they were playing at home, but they still lose that game 98-94. An absolute barn burner of a game, obviously. Vanderbilt played well. 36% from 3 is not terrible. They did shoot 8 less free throws than Florida, but they got crushed on the boards, which is going to happen to a lot of teams that play Florida. So we'll see if Vanderbilt can bounce back here, see if they can do a little bit better job on the glass. Their offense continues to be elite. Tyler Tanner, Tyler Nickel. Like, this team is an elite squad. What can they do in this specific matchup? Well, we'll have to wait and see what happens because Arkansas, they're 13-5 on the season. They're coming off a tough loss at Georgia where they just really could not put it together. Lose that game 90-76 in a big statement game from Georgia. Now the Razorbacks get to welcome Vanderbilt. I mean, that's not a great prize. We are liking what we're seeing from this team offensively. I mean, 17th in the nation total points per game, but their rebounding numbers are very concerning. Their defense is good enough, but I do worry about what they're going to do on the glass. But I worry about that for Vanderbilt too, so maybe those weaknesses kind of offset. The Razorbacks are 1.5-point favorites here at home. We've got a total of 172.5. Vanderbilt is 10-8 against the spread this year, 3-2 against the spread on the road, 10-8 to the over. Arkansas, they are 12-6 against the spread this year, 8-2 against the spread playing at home, 10-8 to the over. Taking over 172.5 feels like, sounds maybe a little bit crazy, but I don't think it is. I wouldn't blame anybody that wanted to do that. Better than that, though, I'll take the Razorbacks here at home. I do think they're the slightly better team. I think they'll have a slightly better time on the boards here, maybe just because they're playing at home. So, yeah, give me Arkansas at home and what, I expect to be quite the offensive outburst from both teams. Rolling right along, we've got the Georgia Bulldogs, the number 21 Georgia Bulldogs, going on the road to take on the Missouri Tigers. Georgia, they're 3-2 in SEC play so far. They're coming off maybe their biggest win of the year, probably their biggest win of the year. They take down number 17 Arkansas 90-76, and yeah, I can't think of a win that would be even close to that big for them this season. They looked amazing. We're loving what we're seeing from this team in general. They're actually the highest scoring team in the nation. I was skeptical of Georgia because of their lack of strength of schedule, but then they took care of business there against Arkansas. They shot the ball really well from 3, did a decent job staying attached there on the boards, and yeah, just had too much offense there. They overwhelmed Arkansas. So we'll see if they can avoid the letdown spot here, going to Missouri and then to Texas. This team, like I said, highest scoring team in the nation, very good rebounding numbers. A lot of that comes from their pace, but still a lot to like about Georgia. Like I said, though, they are in a letdown spot here as they head to Missouri to take on the Tigers. Mizzou, they're 3-2 in conference play. They're coming off a 78-70 loss at LSU, which is not the easiest thing to do. That's a pretty crazy trip out there. Being at home is a big deal. This Mizzou squad has a very nice home court advantage. Mark Mitchell is a monster. They're in the top 100 nationally in offense. Their rebounding numbers are not great, but I don't think that's a massive concern in this game. The concern for me here is Missouri is only getting 1.5 points. I kind of thought they'd get more than that. Maybe the odds makers are telling us something here. We've got a total of 164.5. Georgia is 8-10 against the spread this season, 2-1 against the spread on the road, 10-8 to the over. Mizzou, they're 8-10 against the spread, 5-6 against the spread at home, 10-7-1 to the under. I am going to lean just slightly towards Mizzou here at home because it's such a massive letdown spot there for Georgia. Is this going to go in the pinned comment? I mean, I don't really think so. It does seem like a reasonable spot, but we'd be putting way too much trust in Georgia having a bit of an off night. Rounding into the home stretch here, guys, we got the Auburn Tigers headed to Ole Miss to take on the Rebels. Auburn, they're 11-7 on the season, 2-3 in SEC play. They're fresh off a 71-67 win over South Carolina. Not exactly the most impressive win. They did fall victim to the big letdown spot there after beating Arkansas. Then they lose at Mizzou. We'll see what they're able to put together in this one. Obviously, Keyshawn Hall is a monster, 20 points per game. Very respectable stuff. They're in the top 100 nationally in rebounding. They're in the top 35 in points per game. So there is a lot I do like about Auburn here. We'll see what they can put together on the road, though. They're taking on Ole Miss, who's 3-2 in conference play, 11-7 overall. They're winners of 3 in a row. They took down Mizzou, took down Georgia 97-95 in a game that's looking like a really big win, and then survived kind of a rock fight there at Mississippi State, winning 68-67. So we'll see what they can come up with here. They are playing at home, so that's a pretty big deal still in college basketball. Their offensive numbers on the season don't look amazing, but they are a pretty good defensive team. Their rebounding could look a little bit troublesome, but they're at Mississippi State, which, I mean, not the Bulldogs have been an amazing team this year, but at Mississippi State, they kept things pretty even on the board. So we'll see what Ole Miss can come up with here at home. They are getting 2.5 points. We've got a total of 148.5. Auburn is 10-8 against the spread this season, 1-2 against spread on the road. They are 12-6 to the over. Ole Miss, guys, they are 6-12 against the spread overall this season, 3-6 against spread at home, 11-7 to the over. Guys, I love over 148.5 in this game. I think we're going to see a ton of points. I think we'll see both teams scoring in the 80s in this one, and that's going to get us easily over this number. Not a crazy amount of defense going to be played in this game, I don't think. I mean, Auburn gives up 79 points per game. Ole Miss, I mean, they're not a defensive juggernaut either. They're giving up 71. I think we see this game get to an over very often here between two teams that are pretty good offensively and not so hot on defense. Last but not least, guys, we've got the number 4 Purdue Boilermakers going on the road out west to take on the UCLA Bruins. Now, Purdue, they're 17-1 on the year. They definitely deserve to be one of the top teams in the nation. Their only loss was a blowout loss against Iowa State, and really like a hiccup of a game. That was not a great look. This is their second game on this road trip out west. They already beat USC, but it was a close one. They end up winning 69-64. It is a tough travel situation for these teams that have to go all the way out there to the coast. Braden Smith has been incredible this year, 15 points, 10 assists, very good stuff. They're 4th in the nation assists per game. They're in the top 50 in total offense. Their defense is also excellent. They've got good wins this year over Iowa, Washington, Auburn. They did lose that one to Iowa State like we talked about, but they've beaten Texas Tech. They beat Alabama. This is a very good team. So UCLA should be a bit concerned. The Bruins are 12-6 on the season. They're 4-3 in conference play. They're fresh off a 12-point loss there at Ohio State. So getting back home should be a big help for this team. But getting back home and then having to take on Purdue might not feel amazing. They're 170th in the nation total offense. Their rebounding numbers are really not great. Now, some of that can maybe be blamed on their pace of play against Ohio State, though. They got out rebounded by 10, and it's not like Ohio State is a rebounding juggernaut. Purdue, on the other hand, not a juggernaut, but they are a very solid team on the board. So we'll see how it goes for UCLA. They're getting 5.5 points at home. We've got a total of 146.5. Purdue is 9-9 against the spread, 3-1 against the spread on the road, 10-8 to the under. UCLA, they're 7-11 against the spread overall, 5-5 against the spread at home, 9-9 to the over/under. No lean on the total in this one, but definitely give me Purdue here minus 5.5. I think it's a very reasonable play. I think they're by far the better team. I think here in their second game of the road trip out west, they're going to be much more adjusted to the time difference and the weather difference and all the major differences there when you get significant travel spots here for a college team. So definitely think Purdue's in a great spot to probably win this game by double figures. Guys, that's all the games we have here for today. Hit that like button for good luck on all of your bets and subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. Let me know in the comments any questions you have on today's slate. I'm more than happy to get back to you. I really appreciate all the new subscribers, all the likes we've been getting on the videos here recently as well. It really, really helps keep me motivated to grind these videos out each and every day for you. Make sure you're clicking the link in the description to get over there to stumpthespread.com and check out all the stuff we offer over there. The premium picks have been going really, really well, but you definitely want to be checking out all the free stuff we offer. The free picks tab, the free email newsletter are great resources for you on an absolutely daily basis. Guys, we'll see you right back here again tomorrow, same time, same place, for more sports betting action.